Hey everyone, my name is Travis, and today I'm going to review a $130 notebook. Can you use it for college? Let's find out. Alright, so this is the Dell Inspiron 11 3180, I believe, and a very budget, but yet pretty powerful, if I use that term correctly, laptop that is perfect for college students or anyone to get a decent notebook that's great for traveling, schoolwork, basically just light stuff. Let's see what this thing's got. So this notebook is available at, let's show the logo the right way. This notebook I got at Best Buy for, including tax, about $150. So it's very budget friendly. As you can notice, it's quite small. It's really quite small, and that's one of the attractive things about this notebook, why it's perfect for college students. It doesn't have a lot under the hood, unfortunately, so the specs on it are a little bit lacking. This model has the AMD A6 chip in it, 4 gigs of RAM, and unfortunately, and here's the drawback, it does have a 32 gigabyte eMMC SSD inside. And unfortunately, that is one of the major drawbacks to this notebook. On our ports, right over here, it's kind of hard to see because I have a SD card in it, but we have an SD card slot. So I have a SD card in here, and we're going to talk about that in a second. We have a USB 3.0 port, just one. We have a full-size HDMI out, and we have our power port. Flipping this baby around, on the other side, we have our Kingston lock, because, you know, everyone's going to want to steal this, so you better lock it down. We have a USB 2.0 port, and we have audio port, and this is a combination headphone and microphone, so that's always important. If we open this notebook up, you will see it is running Windows 10 Home Edition. Up here at the top, we have a built-in webcam. Our keyboard, we have the standard chiclet keys, nothing too fancy. We have our 2 speakers right here. The sound quality on this is actually pretty impressive. And down here at the bottom, we have a touchpad, and I love that click. That click is just awesome. So let's go ahead and get inside this notebook. So as you can see, it is running Windows 10. Unfortunately, let's talk about the drawbacks to this. It does have wireless AC. There's no Ethernet on this, so you're going to have to be completely wireless. The wireless on this isn't the best, and when I did a speed test, we actually ran into some problems. However, this notebook is perfect for a college student, and here is why. This is built for the cloud. It has enough power and enough space on here to modify some documents, work in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. However, and this is the drawback, if you are in any sort of major where you're doing intensive stuff, this is not the laptop for you. However, if you're just traveling even, or you're just taking this class to take notes on, it's perfect. Right out of the box, one of the nice things that comes with this laptop is you do get a full year subscription to Microsoft Office 365 Personal. However, if you're a university student, chances are your school has given you Office 365. You can go ahead and pop your email in to log into Office 365, license it through that. It will activate it as whatever version, probably Pro Plus, that your university has. Because this is running full Windows, you can of course install your favorite apps. You'll see that I have Firefox, Spotify installed on here as well. I left the bloatware installed just to kind of give you an idea. It does unfortunately come with Dell's bloatware. One of the things that I do want to mention, it's kind of hard to see, but I'll post a screenshot. You'll notice that our main hard drive only has 6.9 gigs free. That's not a lot of room. When I picked up this laptop and turned it on for the first time, it was running Windows 10 1709. In order to upgrade it to Windows 10 1803, it was a process. So to upgrade this laptop to the latest version of Windows 10, you're gonna have to get creative. Number one, because the wireless on this isn't the best, it's gonna take a while to download. Make sure you give yourself ample time. However, I'm pretty sure future versions of this will ship with 1803 included and already upgraded. Nothing too much to worry about. But if you do buy this like right now and 1709 isn't good enough for you, here's what you have to do to upgrade. 32 gigabyte flash drive. What you have to do is pop this in, because Windows, when it notices that you don't have enough free space, it's going to pop up a pretty cool utility and say, hey, we notice you don't have enough free space for this. So what are you going to do? You can free up some hard drive space, or option B, stick in some removable storage, and we'll use that. So what I ended up doing was having to plug in a flash drive and letting Windows install the files to there. Again, this machine is not fast. So it does take some time to do things such as browsing the web. It's not as fast as it should be, and I attribute most of that to the actual CPU. The CPU really is not the best. Also, the wireless in here is not the best either. Funny enough, I wanted to see what was inside of this, so I did take it apart and void the warranty, because that's what I do. Interesting. This is kind of funny and kind of strange for a laptop like this. On this model, it comes with 32 gigs of storage. That's it. You cannot upgrade it. I have seen service manuals for these, and there is a rumor that there's a model floating around somewhere that does have a SATA drive. When you open this up, there is a section in here where you can definitely fit a normal laptop hard drive or SSD. However, on this model that is sold, at least in the United States, it's not available. And that honestly is what I think kills this. This would be the perfect student laptop. Again, nothing too crazy, if you could put either a larger drive in it or upgrade it. When I opened this up, I did find that you can actually upgrade the RAM module. Now, the motherboard on here probably only supports up to 4 gigabytes because there's only one stick, and it's a budget board, so it probably will not support anything larger than 4 gigs. However, you could always downgrade it if you wanted to. The one thing that I don't like is simply the storage. I kind of was lucky that I had a 32 gig flash drive, because my other flash drives are barely 4 gigs. Thankfully, I had that available. That's really the worst thing about this laptop. So what I primarily use this laptop for SSH and remote desktop. I find it's perfect for that, so I actually keep this laptop in my bag. It's actually part of my go bag, so that way whenever I'm on the road, my cell phone doubles as a hotspot, so I can just fire this up. I can open up an SSH session to a server or an RDP session, get on a VPN, whatever, and do my computing. My heavy lifting is in the cloud. To get around the storage space issue, that's where the SD card comes in. So this can support up to a 128 gigabyte micro SD card. That's one of these guys, not the full-size one, but most SD cards that you buy today are the micro ones. So I stuck at 8 gig in here because it's from an old cell phone that I had from way back in the day, and that really helps. It gives you some additional storage, so if you do need to download something locally that's kind of big, you can just save it to your SD card. Likewise, if you have a lot of documents or maybe you need to install some programs, you can install them on the SD card instead of the internal storage. Now, like I said, I do a lot of computing remotely. So this laptop, really, I just connect to a network and then I connect to another machine, whether it's in the cloud or it's at home. So one of the things that I actually do with this is I connect to my work computer, which is in the cloud. As you can kind of see here, I actually use Amazon Workspaces for my work computer, and the client installs on pretty much anything. And because this is full-blown Windows 10, I can log right into my work machine and I can get to work. All I need is an internet connection. How awesome is that? Now, today's student is connected through the cloud. So what about your student files, anything that research paper that you're working on? Now, the way that this really works well for students because of the lack of internal storage is that Windows is smart enough to realize it doesn't have a lot of storage room for you to store stuff in. So when you use OneDrive, it will actually keep the files on the cloud. So if you need to download a document, like let's say you're working on a research paper, you can actually use OneDrive. It'll download it from the cloud, and then once you save it and you're done with it, it'll automatically upload it back to OneDrive, and it won't actually live on your computer, taking up all that disk space. Now, one of the other things that's important to college students is getting your entertainment. How does this thing handle streaming YouTube videos and Hulu? Well, you might be surprised. It actually handles YouTube fairly well. I watched a few videos and bumped the settings up to 1080p, so I'm really forcing this thing. Playback was a little choppy sometimes, but for the most part, once it buffered, it was smooth sailing. The same thing with Hulu. I fired up Hulu, and sure enough, everything kind of fell apart when I made it full screen. However, once it had time to buffer, it was pretty smooth playback. However, it did get a little choppy every now and then, but I chopped that up to be, no pun intended, the wireless card in this as well as the CPU. Again, it's not that powerful. One of the other things to notice by looking at the bottom, there's no vents on this thing. Even around the top here, normally where like you see on a MacBook, there's really no ventilation. There's nothing on the sides. There's nothing really here. So the way that this laptop dissipates heat is actually through the keyboard itself. If you have your laptop on for a while, you'll actually start to notice that in this area it gets a little warm, especially if you've been doing like a lot of streaming or something like that. This area will actually get pretty warm to the touch, and that's because in this area, this is where the CPU heatsink is, and this is how it's dissipating heat. So this is one of those laptops where you kind of want to make sure that it's completely shut off before you stick it into a bag, otherwise it is going to overheat, and that's just not good. The nice thing too about this is if you hook it up to an external monitor through the HDMI port or maybe even to a TV, you could stream some movies from it, or you can also use it as an external monitor. Overall, for the price point, I was actually pretty impressed with this unit. My only major complaint is just the storage space. Come on, Dell. You could do better than that. I would have rather paid $200 to be able to stick in a larger hard drive versus $130 at Best Buy for 32 gigs. So Dell does sell these in multiple colors. You may have seen them. The older model had red available as well as a blue, white, and what I call laptop gray. This model at Best Buy, they seem to only carry in laptop gray. However, if you go to Dell.com, you can order it in the blue, white, and the gray. The other thing to note, and this is important, is the price. If you go to Best Buy, you can find them, but they normally retail at Best Buy for around $130, give or take, and then plus tax. If you go online to Dell.com and you buy this, it's going to cost you $200. My final thoughts on this is, if you need a light laptop and you're not a really heavy power user, either you need to do your heavy lifting in the cloud or on another computer. However, for playing videos, streaming videos, this does the job. If you do a lot of word processing, email, or just browsing the internet, this is a great buy. And that's why this is perfect for students. Overall, it weighs about 2.5, 3 pounds. It's very lightweight. You can easily hold it with one hand, toss it around a little bit. It's cool. So like I said, this is a pretty nice laptop. I actually just keep it in my bag just because it's so light, it's easy. The battery on this could probably last all day. I actually got significant life out of this. It lasted me an entire workday without having to charge it, but of course I wasn't actively using it, so keep that in mind. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video review. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Feel free to comment below if you have this laptop or if you have some suggestions for how you can possibly use it. And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome videos. I am a tech enthusiast. I love doing tech videos. So be sure to subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much and enjoy your day.